Moving to Sacramento? Well, welcome to Sacramento Real Estate's live broadcast that we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. just for you. On this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about new home communities coming to the market in 2025. We're going to talk incentives. We're going to talk on how these new home communities stack up to the resale inventory currently on the market, as well as we're going to answer any questions and comments that you guys have that are watching the broadcast. Then we're going to segue into all the comments and all the questions that came into the YouTube channel during the course of the week. We're going to go over polls. We're going to answer all your questions. So if you're someone who's looking to move into the Sacramento area, if you're someone who's looking to maybe sell your house and you're wondering if this is the right time, this is the show for you. Let's jump into the broadcast right now. All right, hopefully you guys are having a beautiful evening. Let's get into it a little bit. The Sacramento real estate market is an interesting one right now. It's a 50-50 market, which is kind of weird, right? I'll talk to some realtors and they're super, super hot. And I'll talk to other realtors and they don't really have anything right now. So it's just a really odd market. Now, as far as off markets, what you're noticing right now is a lot of realtors have stuff that they're getting ready to put on after the Super Bowl strategically, right? For example, our team, let me see what we got right now on the docket. We got one that Michelle closed on Peoria in Citrus Heights. That thing was 5 days on the market. We had 3 offers, 2 of them were cash, and Michelle put it down in 5 days, which is crazy. Nikki Curro down. She put a client into one of the condos over there, really good. Then we have stuff, we got stuff in Sun River, in Rancho. We have stuff near Anatolia, Elk Grove. Nikki's got one in Folsom. We got an entire mountain that we actually have for sale in Pilot Hill that Michelle's doing. We got one coming up in Woodland, Antelope, and Gold River. So right now you're noticing that. You're seeing a lot of people right now who I'm talking to over the phone that are basically like, there is not a whole lot of inventory out there. I do believe that we're going to see a push of inventory probably towards the end of this month, beginning of February after the Super Bowl. It's bizarre, but in real estate terms or whatever, whether you're a football fan or not, after the Super Bowl, it's kind of go time. For the next 2 weeks after the football season, you can kind of tell how much inventory is going to get thrown on the market. Now, for me, one of the biggest things for me is always pricing. I think the pricing was a little high last year, and I think it threw a lot of people off. So one of the big questions that I keep telling everybody too, I get the rates thing, I get like the inventory, I get all that stuff too, but the biggest thing I'm curious about is if the inventory we're going to see popping on the market this year is going to have realistic pricing, or is it going to be the same stuff retreaded, maybe at the exact same price it was listed at last year, and hopefully they're trying to sell it. So that's going to be really, really interesting. Now, one of the things that I am running into a lot is a lot of people that want like new homes. You have maybe, you got about maybe 25% of them that want new homes emphatically, 25% that want resale emphatically. And then you got the remainder 50% that are kind of like, well, we prefer resale, but tell us a little bit about these new homes. Now, the new homes right now, what I'm seeing is the incentives at the new homes are crazy. As far as what I can't say crazy. They're good. Okay. I'd say they were crazy around last October when they were trying to get Q4 taken care of. I think they're good now, but I also see them being a little bit like stingy a little bit on the incentives. I see I'm seeing like Beazer, I'm seeing Taylor, which I love Taylor, and Beazer is great too. But like I'm seeing some of these builders that normally give really nice incentives kind of pull back on the incentives. A lot of the new home builders right now, I think, are anticipating that there will be a very good year for new homes this year based on like inventory levels right now in the resale market. Like I think that they could get stung a little on this because I do think there's a lot of realtors that are ready to throw some stuff on the market like we are. So it's going to be an interesting one now. Now, here's the thing though. Some of the builders out there do have a great incentives going on. Now, one of the things I always tell people on this channel is that you should look at areas like Linda, areas kind of like Plumas Lake and everything too, because they have great houses. They're in, like, I've seen houses in Linda and Plumas Lake in the 3s and the 4s, and the incentives are second to none. So here we're going to hear from, and also anyone who's working in the new home community, if you guys want to send me like an amazing deal that you guys are running for the week, or if you want to just talk about a promotion you're doing, please feel free to reach out to me or send me a video or send me something that I can showcase on this channel. LGI is going to be representing tonight, and Meritage is going to be represented as well too. But you guys are always free to like throw in some videos or give me some incentives for a lot of the stuff. Now here we go. Let's do a little LGI right now.
Hello, this is Dave with LGI Homes. Just want to give you a quick update of some of the incentives we have going on. Right now we've got $1,000 earnest money, homes that are very affordable in the 420s actually. We have some quick move-in 30 days to get your keys available. And we do have incentives including full stainless steel kitchen with the refrigerator, and paid for solar that you own. Please call me if you have any questions. Have a great day.
All right, so we're getting all these videos also from, and we have another one coming up from Meritage as well too. All right, let's go to our first question. Sacramento homes are overpriced trash. All right, the jobs do not pay enough to afford the mortgages. Here's the thing for Sacramento though. You can look at it two ways, right? I understand this because I understand this point because there's a lot of people that bring up the affordability in Sacramento. It's not what it was like before. And you're right. The prices went like this. As far as work, the pay went like this. So you are right in the sense of the idea that maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Sacramento is a lot more affordable, maybe a lot more in line with the prices of jobs here. But what you're also seeing too is a lot of the jobs that are in right now in the Sacramento area that are coming in are higher paying jobs. Now, I'm not saying a lot of people have them or whatnot, but what I am saying for the most part is that if you look at Sacramento, what it was 5 years ago, it was a lot more affordable than it is now. Do I think that's going to change? I think actually the prices are going to keep increasing in California. Now, another way to look at it as well is to look at it comparatively towards the Bay Area. Look at it like towards Los Angeles. Think about all the growth potential in Sacramento. Now, you guys might go, forget that. I'm not going to invest in Sacramento. But appreciation, growth, prices have just gone up and up and up. Now, in the future in Sacramento, you're going to see like areas like Folsom Ranch just blow up. I mean, they already kind of are. Elk Grove is doing the same thing with the new train station. Then you're talking about the new Kaiser campus downtown. And then Folsom Ranch, you got a couple new schools. You got a nice like indoor hockey area. Then at like what's called at Whitney Ranch, you got their new Whitney Ranch Retail Center. There is so much new development happening in the Sacramento area that it's kind of interesting because I also see it as being one of those spots that is still kind of growing and developing. And like the location for me, Sacramento has always been great, right? You're about an hour, 20 minutes from Tahoe, hour 20 from Napa. It's just one of those things, at least for me, that I look at it as like, it's always been in a great position. State capital, so we have a diversification of jobs. Now, a lot of people are like, what do you mean, diversification of jobs? Guys, the beautiful part about our area, Sacramento specifically, is that we have some tech, we have some medical, we have some school jobs, we have state jobs. We have such a nice balance of jobs that if you've noticed, like anytime like in the Bay Area where tech dips, everything is screwed, right? People are getting laid off, house prices are going down and everything too. We don't really have this. Like I said, like we had a big eruption at Intel. Intel's gone. Intel didn't even do anything to Folsom's market. There was not even a blip on Folsom market. You go to Taylor Morrison, they're still selling like hotcakes. So as far as our market goes, as far as Sacramento, I get the fact that it's not as affordable as it was 5 years ago, but I also think that 5 years ago, Sacramento was very undervalued. A lot of people who jumped into the market and bought homes saw some major appreciation that I think the Sacramento area was due. So it is kind of you could see both sides of it, I guess you could say. But for me, coming in from the Bay Area, having like, you could basically get like what a person can get here. They are lucky to even get it in the Bay Area, and they're going to be paying maybe like 3 times as much. So as far as that goes, I can see it from like, this is pretty amazing. A lot of the stuff that we work with, a lot of the people we work with are relos. And I was talking to a couple nice people as well today, and I was talking to them, and they were talking about coming back into Sacramento, and they were talking about a nice little budget. And I was like, you're going to be so amazed at what you can get here. It's going to really make you feel like, like comparatively towards the Bay Area, this is just a gold mine. So I would just say it depends on which way you're kind of looking at this market. All right. Railroads development in West Sacramento, most underrated in Sacramento. West Sacramento, honestly. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. A lot of people might not know this because it's kind of weird because it's kind of under the radar a little bit. I mean, if you dig deep enough, everyone's always going, the A's, not the Oakland A's anymore, the A's are coming to Sacramento. The reality of it, the A's are coming to West Sacramento. That's where they're going to play. Now, are they going to affect all of the Sacramento area? Absolutely. Here's the thing about the Kings, about the A's, about any sports team that is in Sacramento. Everyone here is really, really amazing about like the Kings, right? Everyone's got the jerseys, everyone's local, everyone's going to games, everyone's posting about it. We love our sports. So a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen when the A's come in. One is, as far as I know, a majority of their games are already sold out. It's hard to even get tickets. And we're not talking about just regular like bleacher. I mean, we're talking like, I don't know, these tickets are like maybe 4 times as expensive as they were at the Coliseum because we have less seating. So I do think that West Sacramento right now is undervalued. I think that West Sacramento, the only thing West Sacramento really needed was a couple extra connections to downtown Sacramento, which are kind of underway. Beautiful area, beautiful location, Delta breezes. The price point there, I'd say medium price point. Maybe you're looking at maybe like low sixes. Maybe even lower than that, truthfully. I mean, really nice areas. So for me, I really like the West Sacramento area. There are some luxury homes being built in the West Sacramento area as well, too, on the water. And like I said, guys, one of the things that Sacramento doesn't, we got Folsom Lake, we have the American River, we have Sacramento River, and we have a lot of man-made lakes. But honestly, if you have gone to like the West Sacramento, I think it's the yacht club over there too, like river life, it's really, really fun here. So the idea that West Sacramento is due in the future with the A's coming in, all the developments that's happening downtown Sacramento, if we have a few connectors, I mean, for me, I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think West Sacramento is undervalued? Do you think it's going to blow up? What do you guys think specifically of the West Sacramento area? Okay, now let's hear from Lacey at Meritage, where she's going to talk to you a little bit about some of the incentives Meritage is giving.
Hi, it's Lacey, your sales counselor and go-to for all things Meritage Homes. For those looking to relocate to the greater Sacramento area, this year we're launching 4 brand new communities in Galt, Lincoln, Elk Grove, and the highly anticipated project in Natomas. But if you're ready to move now, I got you. Check out our Vacaville community. It's just a hop and a skip away from downtown Sacramento and the Bay Area. And here's what everybody really wants to know. Incentives. Right now, through February 9th, you can take advantage of the national sales event offering up to $50,000 in total incentives. These funds can help with solar purchase, closing costs, and even buying down your interest rate, resulting in a more affordable monthly payment. Remember, this offer ends February 9th, so reach out for a full list of eligible homes ready for move-in. Thanks for listening. Lacey out.
This is why a lot of people love the new homes, because of all the incentives. The big thing that a lot of people don't realize is that every new home builder that I know of is offering some sort of incentive, some sort of like buy down something. Meritage gives some amazing incentives, some of the best incentives, and they treat their clients really, really well, and the realtors as well too. I love that company. I think that they're one of the. I think they're starting stuff off on the right foot. I think they're going in the right direction as far as how they treat their clients, how they treat their communities and everything too. I think the bang for your buck at Meritage is just insane. I think if you're someone who's maybe thinking to yourself, I want to get a new home, I like Sacramento, but I want to be kind of close to the Bay Area, the Vacaville community is amazing. The one they're coming out with in Galt as well, crazy. But if you're looking for incentives, and the reason why you're stopping to buy right now is because of interest rates and you just can't afford something, that's where you go to the new homes. That's where the new homes, like you go to like builders like Meritage, you go to builders like K. Hovnanian, go to builders like those that you get in there, and then you can get like, you know, money towards buy downs, money towards like buying your rate down, closing costs, all that stuff too. I've seen them at TriPoint. I've seen some at Beazer, not a lot. Some at Taylor, not a lot. But that's what I'm seeing right now too. And like I said, if you guys are out there, if you're watching this and you're a salesperson at one of these communities, send me some information. I'd love to share with everyone who's watching, because a lot of our audience is basically interested in new homes. Okay, downtown Sacramento, Oak Park is more underrated than West Sacramento because no need to cross the bridge. You know, here's the thing about downtown in Sacramento and Oak Park. I think both those. I think there is two sides of that one, right? You're in the middle of everything, in the middle of downtown. The good, the bad, and the ugly, right? West Sacramento is like, you're still pretty close to downtown, but you still have that kind of like separator, right? So I think both those areas, it's for whoever likes it. If you're looking for a primary home, I would say West Sacramento is great. I think if you're looking for a primary or an investment property, I think you are right. Certain parts of Oak Park in downtown Sacramento are great. So like I said, though, but isn't it nice, though, to have an area like Sacramento where we're growing, we're developing, we got all this new home stuff going. Like the new homes are just nuts. Let's get into some of that right now. All right. So if you guys are coming in and you're thinking to yourself, all right, Mark, stop yapping. Let's talk a little bit about where all these new homes are. All right. So you got like, what do you got? You got Vineyard, where you got Beazer, and you got Taylor Morrison out there as well too. They're building out there. And you also got Richmond American and kind of like a private community a little further down. Now Elk Grove, Elk Grove's got some big ones. You got Taylor, you got Tim Lewis, you got, what else? Tim Lewis, Taylor, you got Beazer. You have KB. You have, I think DR Horton is coming. I don't think Lennar's there. I think Lennar comes and goes in Elk Grove. So you have some really big building happening in Elk Grove. Now, Elk Grove, for the most part, here's the thing about Elk Grove. Honestly, it's like, it's going to be building out for at least the next 5 years. You got the Sacramento Zoo coming out there. You got the Sky River Casino that's out there as well right now. You have the train station that's connecting us with the Bay Area as well too. So you got some big stuff happening there. Mark, what's the crime rate in West? I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to speculate on that just because I don't want to throw you guys off. I'm not really sure. I've moved a lot of people into West Sacramento because they think it's very quiet. Now, the only thing I will tell you about West Sacramento is when you're driving out to West Sacramento, it feels a little bit like you're like, where am I? Kind of looks swampish. I guess you can call it a little bit like country-ish when you're driving out there and you're just not really sure where you are. There's like pumpkin patches out there on the way there during like Halloween and everything too, but it's kind of far out there, right? I would say like, I'll figure out some statistics for you guys by next week, but like I said, it's on the map. You're going to see it and you're like, whoa, this is like right close to downtown, but it's not. It's the most like clustered way to get downtown, and Jefferson is a bear in the mornings and during the afternoon. If they can create a way to get to downtown that's a little bit more efficiently, West Sacramento will absolutely explode. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so we got Vineyard, we got Elk Grove. Great builders over there too. Now in the downtown Sacramento area, there are some brownstones that are being built by Black Pines down there as well too. So those are nice. I think there's also some in the Land Park by Swanston. I'm not 100% on that one too. Citrus, I don't think there's any build. I think there might be mom and pop builders, but there's not too many. Antelope, you got KB Homes. Like I said, if you're looking for something in the high 500s or high 400s, low 500s, they're one of the only builders right now that's actually building at that price point. What else do we got? We got Roseville. Okay, so West Roseville. You got Roseville, which is like during the course of the 2024, at the very beginning, Roseville was like where you found the most new home building. You got Pulte, you got Beezer. Everyone had like multiple communities. So you got like Pulte that had 2 communities, Beezer that is on its 3rd and 4th community. JMC has like 9 communities out there. Richmond American just opened up another couple communities, Amorosa Ranch. So there's a lot of building happening in West Roseville. I would say if you're someone who like loves new homes and you're saying to yourself, I want to get some of the best, I want to get some great incentives, West Roseville is where you go. I think West Roseville, in my humble opinion, I think West Roseville and what's called in Rancho, I think those are the areas you're probably going to get the best incentives. I think the worst incentives you're going to see are probably in Elk Grove and probably in Folsom. But as far as like bang for your buck, like the West Roseville area is getting built up. Costco's coming in. You got like other new schools coming in. The only thing about Roseville I'd say is like, and this is just a subjective thing, there are 2 school districts there. There's a center and there's Roseville City. So just understand that as well too before you pull the trigger on that. So that's there. And then you got Rockland here, and Rockland's an interesting one. Okay. So Rockland, you have certain builders building in Whitney Ranch. You got KB Homes is building in Whitney Ranch, but it's not affiliated with the HOA at Whitney Ranch, I don't believe. So KB is building a little bit more of an affordable price point in the Rockland area when you get off the freeway. Then when you get up there, you got JMC, who has at least 3 communities up there. And then you got Anthem also building, and they're coming soon. They're going to be a little bit more like high-end, I believe, homes as well too. So that's going to be it. But Whitney Ranch is almost pretty much done. So, jump while you can. Whitney Ranch is a great, like I always tell people too, like as far as master plan communities, if that's your jam, like once that Whitney Ranch retail center gets built, and that's kind of like when you get off the freeway and you get on Whitney Parkway, it's like right there. And that's going to have a Nugget. It's going to have stores and all that stuff too. I think the Whitney Ranch area is going to even get more pricey. I think the area is awesome. I think it's the only, and I live in Gold River, it's the only community in my humble opinion that has a worthwhile HOA, $82, pool, cabana, all that stuff. It's got an elementary school located right there as well too. High schools, everything is so close in Whitney Ranch. I'd say if you guys like it, the only qualm I would say with Whitney Ranch is the homes kind of look a little bit the same, but at the same time, it's a beautiful area. A lot of the houses have views there. I absolutely love that community. All right, let's get some more questions. All right. All right. Tim Lewis builds beautiful homes. Here's the thing about Tim Lewis. I like Tim Lewis, and I'm not a big fan of their recent communities, but I do think Tim Lewis, the thing with Tim Lewis, and here's a little bit of background on Tim Lewis. Tim Lewis, before Toll Brothers became, again, a huge presence in the Sacramento area, Tim Lewis was like the luxury builder. They were it. They were building some luxury homes, and they kind of owned that market. Then Toll Brothers came in, they did Oakcrest, they did Skyline, and all of a sudden Tim Lewis kind of went almost at the level of like, how can I say it, like maybe a Taylor Morrison, where they were building kind of like, yeah, pretty good houses, pretty nice upgrades. Don't get me wrong, they're nice. But Toll Brothers kind of took on that, like, we are the luxury builder in this area. Then you had companies like New Home Company that was building kind of like just normal houses. And then all of a sudden they jumped up to Silvercrest and Gold Hill, and they started producing some amazing homes. Then Premier as well too started building in Granite Bay. And now you got companies like Anthem that are coming out with their like luxury line as well too. So it's going to be a little bit more competitive. I would say, if you want to see really like Tim Lewis, you go to Rockland, the woods and the lakes out there by the 80. Those are beautiful homes. That's like super like Tim Lewis-ish kind of homes. And I would also say like Magnolia at Granite Bay as well too. But then again, over $2 million for like a semi-custom home. So there's a little bit of like, there's a little bit of conflict inside me for that. Because at $2 million, honestly, you could probably find something in Los Lagos, more established community, guard gate, that whole 9 yards. So it's interesting. All right, let's go with this. But I do like Tim, but newest communities haven't really wowed me. Any new construction in West Roseville in the Roseville district? I think the Amorosa Ranch is. Fittyment, those are the ones in the Roseville schools. I would say, if you look at the map right here, let me see if I can do this. In West Roseville, it's really confusing. Okay. So I talked to a couple of the salespeople there, right? And salespeople being salespeople, they were like, oh, hey, the line for the schools moved a little over this way like a year ago. So it's very much like really, really gray area out there too. Like Pulte's a great builder, really nice homes out there. Power Towers a little bit much, but it's a nice builder out there too. And they're in Center. But the lady there said, like, this is going to probably change in the next couple like months to years because they're kind of setting up the zoning of the schools. It gets a little confusing. Now, for me, if you're worried about schools and maybe you want Center, maybe you want Roseville, whichever you want, because like I said, it's completely subjective. Before you pull the trigger on a home, just make sure it's in the school district you want, and make sure you kind of know what the future of that kind of looks like. All right. Boom. All right, Dukes. Oh, and by the way, another thing too is the new Richmond American community out there. So nice. And they just started building. And the thing about getting in the new home communities, right? Okay, so this year is slated to be like Sacramento is a growing area. Everything points to this being kind of a monster year in real estate. Now, one of the things I love about new home communities, especially new ones, right? Before the models come out, when they just start building, is what normally builders do when they come out with a community, especially your Richmonds, your Taylors, your Tim Lewis's, not Tim as much, but Taylor, what they'll do is, like, let's say they're thinking to themselves, we want to sell for around $700,000. They'll start selling for $680 to get the momentum going. Then all of a sudden they'll get up to 700, and then they'll start going higher and higher and higher. So if you're one of the first people who basically, and you got to check the market, this isn't always I'm sure, this isn't always 100% thing, but normally what I found with our clients is if we can get them in when a new community opens their doors and they can buy one of the first homes and all of a sudden you see price increase upon price increase, they walk into instant equity appreciation in their home. It's just crazy. So I worked with someone back in the day, and this is actually Lennar. What was it? Essentially the one that wasn't the connected homes. And he basically bought it for, I think it was $420. And by the time he got it and it was his and he was good, and it was 6 months down the road, it was already at $500. So that's when you strike with the new homes. If you're looking at the market, you're saying everything's hot, everything's blowing up, things are flying off the shelves, you grab it. Now this is interesting. There's a guy who works at Tri Point Homes named Terry. Sweetest guy ever, right? What he does is on communities like the one at Canterley and Lariat, he bought one of the first homes that was released. And then after the community closed, he ended up selling it and making a whole lot of money. So there's a way to do this. And like I said, for me, I think that's a great way to go about it if you're thinking about buying. All right. Do you expect increase in demand this spring? What about pricing? Okay, so first of all, pricing. I hope sellers in the resale space realize the fact that a house is going to go for what a house is going to go for. Go a little aggressive on the pricing, and also work with listing agents that know how to market to the Bay Area. I mean, I will tell you this straight up: 90% of the real estate agents that I know in Sacramento have zero clue on how to market to the Bay Area. They don't do videos, they don't do any type of paid advertising, they don't throw it on Instagram, and they don't just market towards the Bay Area. Now, a lot of people in Sacramento are like, we don't want those Bay Area people there. Yeah, you do, because they're the ones who actually made the market explode the way it is. A lot of people from the Bay Area sell their $2 million condos, come to Sacramento and see a house for like $700,000-$800,000, and they're good with it. So I do think that what we're going to notice is that there will be a lot of demand in spring. Right now, we're getting a lot of calls, a lot of people who are basically setting themselves up for June. A lot of people. I would say, as far as pricing goes, the biggest telltale signs in our market is going to be after the Super Bowl, the first 2 weeks. If you see stuff that's kind of on the market, priced as it was last year, and it's just sitting, it might not be a great thing, especially areas that all of a sudden people are freaking out about home insurance. Now, if for example, let's say you listed a home last year at $1 million and it just sat, there's no activity. Maybe you got a couple people there. I mean, clearly, a few months, same interest rate, isn't going to mean that house is going to fly off the shelf, even with new pictures. So if your listing agent is smart and talks to you a little bit and says, hey, look, let's list it aggressively. Let's get a couple offers and see if we can get that thing where you want it to be. Is it going to go for $1 million? Probably not. But that's kind of a little bit more of a realistic way to go. Because last year, as we all saw, days of market was just increasing because of the unrealistic prices. Why? Well, in some cases, it was someone who said, I'm at a 2.75. I'm not selling my house. And then you got a realtor calling them usually towards dinner time saying, I can get you this much for your house. And they're like, well, if you get me that much for my house, I'll sell it. So in the realtor world, there's usually a little bit of a game where someone says to you, yeah, you know what? If you want to sell your house for that, I can definitely do it. And this is where real estate for me just kind of, a lot of times realtors don't really believe that. They think they're going to throw it on the market. A couple weeks later, they're going to talk to the seller and convince them to lower the price to what's realistic. For me, we list our homes at aggressive prices because we do believe that we can get a big new war. We can market towards the Bay Area and we can get that going. Like the house that Michelle put on in Peoria. That thing went 5 days, 3 offers, done. And like I said, that's probably going to be the best way to list homes now. So I would say, and I know this is so long-winded, I'm super sorry about this answer. I would say, yes, we are going to get demand. And one of the reasons why the demand is here, and a lot of the conversations I'm having with people coming into the area is everyone expected interest rates to drop last year. Everyone thought interest rates are going down. We're going to see 5% interest rates. The market was going to be fantastic. So everybody was waiting. Now I think people are a little annoyed and they're saying, you know what? Forget this. Sacramento prices are going up. I'm going to jump in. And so I'm hearing less conversations about, oh man, I don't know if I can afford it. And more people talking about, I want to get in, I want to buy something, then I want to refi later. So I do think demand's going to be there. But again, everyone's always talking about, oh, inventory levels, oh, this and that. I still think it's pricing. And the biggest thing is, like I mentioned, a lot of people have those 2.75s, and those are the ones that are the most unrealistic about pricing. Like I said on this channel, the biggest telltale things you can do when you're looking at a house, if you walk into a house and it's clearly lived in, that's probably a 2.75er. Now, if it's empty and all of a sudden it looks like it has that smell that no one's kind of visited, those are the ones that are probably itching to sell and you can make deals. So all those things you kind of need to take into account. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But yes, demand. Yes, we're going to be getting it. We already are. And honestly, one last thing, and I don't mean to keep babbling about this. One last thing that's crazy is that at this point in time, the market shouldn't be, at least for our team, this crazy, but it is. At this point in time, interest rates are still above 7 for most people. Inventory levels are still a little low because a lot of people are keeping their listings for after the Super Bowl. New homes, the incentives aren't as good as they were towards the end of 2024. In all signs are pointing to the market shouldn't be at all popping, but it is. So for me, like I said, it's not really, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay, hey Mark, do you have any information about the new community near Natomas by the new home company? I don't, but I have actually a call in to the agent there to see if I can get a video for it. Hit me with a message, remind me, and I will see if I can, because I'm going to be out there in Natomas. Where am I going to be? I'm going to be in Vineyard tomorrow, and I'm always out, guys. So if you guys have any questions, you guys want to see homes, let me know. I'm going to be in Vineyard with Ben and his wife doing a walkthrough. It's at 10 a.m. with Nikki. And then I'm going to be shooting over to Natomas because I want to see where that new community of Meritage is going to be. And I will also check a look at new home companies. So I should have some information for you hopefully later tomorrow. If you want to just text me, you can text me anonymously. Don't even worry about it. Okay, so let's go back to the maps. And if you guys have questions about new homes, new homes aren't for everybody. The truth of the matter is, like, a lot of people feel like they'd rather go to the resale market. They'd rather have an established community or established community, a home that's a little separated out a little bit more. They don't want to deal with the nails and the tires. They don't want to deal with like the new home look. They don't like it. The thing that I'm noticing more than not, and one thing that's pivoting people into new homes, and it's been this way for like at least the last couple of years, is the interest rates, are the incentives. New homes are so smart about that. They realize the fact that they really weren't a big thing before COVID, and now Sacramento's building a ton of new communities, and it's been growing, and it's been just honestly just going crazy. It's because they're so smart about incentives. They're so smart about reading the market, putting the right incentives at the right time. And that's why all these new home communities are doing really, really well. I mean, we have so much building in the Sacramento area. In Folsom, there's got to be at least like 12 builders. West Roseville, maybe at least another 13, 14 builders over there or communities. Elk Grove, same thing. West Sacramento, we got at least 3 or 4 communities out there. Vineyard, Antelope, I mean, everywhere. But they're so smart about their incentives. They're your normal person who's saying, you know what, I really want a resale home. That's what I want. You see a couple of resale homes, and in this market, you're seeing a lot of people just throwing their houses up for sale. They're not really presenting them well. And all of a sudden you show them the new homes and they're like, yeah, they're a little tight. And then you're saying, well, they can buy you down to a 4% interest rate. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, okay, I didn't even know that. So that's where the pivot happens in the new home space. Okay, so let's go. We got Rockland, like I said. I do like the Tim Lewis communities over there, Lake and Wood. I think those are nice. I think also the other Rockland communities you'll look at are all in the Whitney Ranch area. As far as I know, there's no other real building in Rockland. Roseville, we went over. Antelope as well, too. Folsom, yeah, Folsom's crazy. It's right over here. You got like, you got Taylor Morrison, who's going to wind up building their last one. I think it's, like in February, and they're going to be gone. They're looking for land in Folsom again, but they don't have any. So the newer communities are coming out in Folsom are going to be Woodside homes. They're big ones by the 50, the $1 million homes. And then Tri Point is coming out with some patio condo homes as well over there as well too. Tri Point is. So Folsom's good, but I think the building in Folsom it's not gonna be as fast as Elk Grove. In Elk Grove and in West Roseville, you'll see like maybe 2 new communities every single month. Folsom, you'll see a new community maybe once every 3 months. So for right now in Folsom Ranch, you're gonna see Tri Point, their condos coming out, I think in a couple weeks. You got Woodside with their one community, and then their other community coming out in March above it. That's what it looks like in the Folsom area. Best bang for your buck. Probably KB Homes Esquire, I'd say, out there too. You might be able to get it in the high 6s. But yeah, if you guys are looking for Taylor too, I think Taylor's going to be out of there pretty soon. Okay, so what else have we got? All right, let me see if I can shrink this a little bit. Okay, so over here, what is it? Here is the Rancho, and we'll say it's over there. And there you got the new one over there is Beezer Homes. Beezer Home, it's interesting. Like I said, if you like Beezer Homes, they're starting in the high 5s. Right now, the only competitive person that's building in those in the high 5s is basically KHOV. And they have a select one. They don't have a lot in the 5s right now too. And you have Tri Point, and I think that one's River Blossom or River Summer another too. Those are the ones there. So that's going to be the latest one in Rancho. Who do you got in Rancho? You got Pulte, you got Richmond American, you got Tri Point, you got KHOV, and I do think D.R. Horton's coming out there as well too. If you want incentives, Rancho's another area. Like I said, Vineyard's pretty good. West Roseville's number one probably for incentives. Maybe Rancho and Roseville go back and forth. So Roseville and Rancho, and then on the third for incentives would be Vineyard. The only reason why in Vineyard they're not giving too many incentives right now is because there's not an overwhelming amount of builders. As far as in Vineyard goes, I think you got like 4 or 5 builders. The main ones are Beezer, Taylor Morrison with Wildhawk South and North, and Richmond American out there too. So that's what you got over there. Now, Fair Oaks, I do still think Elliott Homes has a few houses in Fair Oaks that they're still selling, which are nice. Now, what else do we got here as far as new home building? That's kind of it, but that's a lot, guys. I mean, honestly, as far as other areas go, we've got the most new home building in California. Maybe Mountain House. No, I still think we got it. As far as new homes go, guys, it's big business here in Sacramento. If you're someone who's maybe thinking about coming to Sacramento and you say, like, I don't want to deal with the new homes. Now, a lot of people have. I've run into a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people, and they basically tell me one thing. I've driven through Folsom Ranch, and I'm scared. The traffic looks like it's brutal and just looks like a congestion city. I mean, I think East Bidwell is overloaded and they got to do a little bit better of that. Oh, and another spot, El Dorado Hills does have some builders as well too. Elliott Homes, Ridgeview is still up there by New Home Company. Toll Brothers has 2 homes left, I believe, or 2 homes that are available. So there are some building up there as well too in El Dorado Hills. The only thing is a lot of people are thinking home insurance, so just make sure you know what's going. Now in El Dorado Hills, there are going to be new communities popping up above Blackstone as well too. El Dorado Hills is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, straight up. A lot of people are a little scared of El Dorado Hills because everyone's freaking out about home insurance. But I will tell you this straight up. Don't look in El Dorados because you're thinking every single home is going to have homeowner insurance issues and fire insurance. Talk to a good homeowner insurance person and just make sure that you're kind of looking a little bit. You know the address and you ask them what zone it's in. My buddy Javier Ortiz, he was on last week, can give you a map of like the zones in El Dorado Hills so you know what to stay close to, stay away from, and everything too. El Dorado Hills for me, I would say it's probably one of my favorite. If you like views, if you like being close to Folsom Lake, if you love like kind of like the nice like resort style vibe, El Dorado Hills, I think it's a little hard to beat. So I would just take a look at El Dorado. And if you find an address, don't be shy about reaching out to Javier to see how bad it is or how good it is. How's the construction quality of different new builders? I previewed some Taylor Morrison's homes in Elk Grove, and the workmanship was disappointing. Really? All right. TM usually builds. Okay, so here's the thing, what I've heard. One is, and this is the straight up truth, it all depends on who's running the show. Whoever is your superintendent, that is basically, for me, if I'm going in to buy a new home, whether it's Tim Lewis, whether it's Taylor Morrison, I'm finding out who my superintendent is. I'm researching them. I'm talking to them. I'm feeling comfortable with them as a superintendent. That's where it all kind of hinges, the superintendent. I've seen superintendents at certain builders. They're kind of nonchalant. One superintendent over like in Folsom told me, oh, this is my last project, then I'm retiring. That scared me. So it's all about the superintendent. You have to realize one thing too about these builders. They're different crews running different areas. So Taylor Morrison's Elk Grove crew isn't running in Folsom. Folsom isn't running in Roseville other than that. So you really have to know exactly about the community. And if you're doing reviews or you're checking stuff out too, make sure it's the community you're buying at. Taylor Morrison, if it was me and I was looking to buy a home and I was kind of going through the home and I just didn't feel comfortable with the build quality and I was maybe going through some frames of some houses, I wouldn't pull the trigger. I don't care who it is, whether it's Toll Brothers, Taylor Morrison, Lennar, whatever. If I went to some reviews and I also went into some frames and I didn't like it, I would be gone. I would also talk to superintendents. Like I said, that's major. I'd say if you're looking in Elk Grove, you got a lot of superintendents to talk to. You got one is Tim Lewis's, you got Beezer's, you got what's called New Home Company. Now, I will tell you one thing though. Going back to Taylor, there is a reason why Taylor is one of my favorite builders because every single year they win the quality award, right? And this isn't by the trade. It's usually by people who buy the homes. I've sold a lot of Taylor Morrison homes. On an average, I sell maybe 15 to 20 Taylor Morrison homes every single year. And I've never had any complaints except for one. And that was one that bought up in Lincoln, and they bought like this, and there was a little bit of like water dripping over, and Taylor Morrison went in there and fixed it. That was it. That's the only issue that I've ever had with Taylor Morrison. But again, like I said, for me, you know how it is. I mean, like Toyota example. Toyota's an amazing builder for cars, right? But you're always going to find like one car that's screwed up for some reason. So I take that into account. But if I didn't feel comfortable with the builder and the workmanship wasn't what I wanted, I would not purchase the home. I would also look at other framers, like go to Elliott and go to Taylor. Go to Tim Lewis, go to Beazer, go to New Home Company. Find one that you feel comfortable with as well too. But myself, through my history of like selling a lot of new homes, and I've been doing this for like 6 years, selling new homes, a lot of them, Taylor's never really given me a problem except for that one. So that's all I can say. Now, if you want to, feel free to reach out to me. After we get off or whatever, send me, I can send you kind of the contact information of the superintendent that's running the Taylor show over there too. You can even talk to him a little bit too. I mean, they want to make sure you're happy. And I have seen Taylor Morrison kind of bend over backwards to make sure people are happy. So, I would say that's kind of how I would do it. And I don't mean to kind of like around the question. It's just a tough one, like I haven't seen what you've seen, so I don't know exactly what are the things and what are the issues that you saw that you didn't like. So if you want to, we can have a definite conversation about it. I'm transparent 100%. I'll tell you exactly my experiences, what are red flags to watch out for, just like we do with every client that works with us with new homes. We're always there are walkthroughs and all that stuff too. We always recommend inspectors as well too. So hopefully that helps. Okay, guys, first of all, new homes. I'd say let's go to the pros and cons of new homes. New homes, one is, it's not as competitive, right? It's getting a little tighter right now to find the perfect floor plan, elevation, and everything too. But it's kind of an easy way to do stuff, right? Because we're seeing anemic inventory still on the market. If you find something you like in the resale market, there's going to be a bunch of people that probably like it as well too. Whereas in the new home market, you can run into a house and say, oh, I want to plan one. And they'll say, oh, we have 3 of them. One of them's available and we can make you a deal and we got some incentives. Now, let's flip it over to resale. The thing about resale is the community, the area. It's already established. You don't have to deal with construction. You have a little bit more spacing between your neighbors. You got a lot more trees. You don't have to deal with Mello-Roos usually. I mean, not always. Like I said, Elk Grove, the 757, you're going to always probably have to deal with a Mello-Roos in one way or the other. But for the most part, like I said, like Mello-Roos is a big one. If you buy in areas like Fair Oaks, Citrus Heights, Carmichael, you don't have to deal with Mello-Roos, which is nice. Gold River here, we have HOAs, but no Mello-Roos. So that's kind of the pros and cons. If you guys have any questions about the new homes, let me know. All I can tell you is the biggest pivoter from people who want resale is, I'm not seeing what I like. Let me take a look at new homes. Wow, they can get me a 5% interest rate. Okay, I'm in. Let's look at some new homes. That's exactly what's happening all the time. Now, if you guys are enjoying the broadcast like we do every single Wednesday at 7, please smash that like button. It'd mean a lot to me and my buddy, the YouTube algorithm. It'd mean a lot. All right. Hold on, boom. I was gonna bring my buddy Sam on the show. He was a little scared, so he didn't come on today. Would you say gives more value for the money in Rancho Cordova or Roseville? That's a tough one. I mean, it's like a 50-50 thing. I like Rancho because I think Folsom, all the stuff that's building in Folsom is happening between Folsom and Rancho, right? So you got the 2 new schools, you got UC Davis, the campus going in, Dignity campus, you have all that commercial building, you have all those malls right there too. And because all that stuff is building right there, like that Rancho area is going to benefit from all that. You have the schools coming in. There's so much development. I really, really like the Rancho area. And then if you haven't researched it out, look at the Braden project as well too. The Braden project is like this, I think there's like 8,000 new, it's like a green work environment that's coming into Rancho itself too. So I think that that's going to boost it up as well. I think that the Rancho area is just like little baby Folsom. And I think because it's kind of closer to Folsom and it's also has its own kind of identity, I really like the Rancho area. I think West Roseville, they're doing a lot of new home building. They're doing a lot of development out there too. It's tough. Honestly, I think both areas are nice. I think Rancho, the only thing I'll say about Rancho is the fact that it's going to be which one builds out quicker. Rancho just feels less far from everything. I guess you can say that. I think Rancho just feels like it's closer to like Costco's. Not for long. I know West Roseville's got there going, but it just, for some insane reason, like if I show people Rancho and I show people West Roseville, a lot of people like the Rancho area that are like 50, need to get close to downtown, feel that the stores are closer. In West Roseville, they feel a little bit like, okay, we get the mall is about 15 minutes away. We like this side of the 80. We're good. And so that's the kind of split. For me, I think I still got to go with Rancho, the best bang for your buck in the Sacramento area. I still do. I think for Rancho's price point, here's the thing for me. Okay, Beezer, they have maybe a single story right now in the 5s. I think like you're not going to see too many houses right now in West Roseville in the 5s. Where in Rancho, you have like, there are some homes, not a lot by K-Hob in the 5s. Beezer's building in the 5s. Tri-Point has some homes in the high 5s. And so I think the price point is just a little better in Rancho. So I'd have to swing it in that way just a little bit, if that makes sense. Boom. All right, guys, remember, if you're liking the broadcast, smash that like button. All right, so new homes, like I said, are booming everywhere. I would say for anyone coming out to the Sacramento area, first, smash that like button. Okay, so here's the thing. Oh, let's go back to this. This was interesting. All right. Boom. I don't like Rancho because of the super fun site and the meat rendering plant and airport noise. Yeah, I get it. And there's a lot of people that talk about that stuff too. And I'm with you, you know, like I've been out there. Yeah. And it's just one of those things for me. I look at it and I say to myself, how is a Braden project, a green 8,000, how's it going to go out there and have this render? So I don't know. But for me, I look at the price point and I look at like, for example, like Paseo before it sold out, you could get yourself like a 4-bedroom and a loft house, like brand new, you know, yeah, it's a patio home. So you don't have a huge backyard for like, what's called like $520. I don't know where else in Sacramento you can get something like that in an area that has Elk Grove schools near Costco and everything too. Is it ideal? No, there's definitely some negatives about it as well too. But do I think in the future, with the Braden project coming in and all the construction happening between Folsom Ranch and Anatolia, that Rancho area, do I think that it's a spot where I would say that it's up and coming? Yeah. I mean, it is, you know. West Roseville, I like it too. You know, there's so many spots and it's almost like everywhere in the Sacramento area has so many more pros against it than cons. Like I said, I like our area. But I would say for price point, if you're looking for like a brand new home in the 5s, it's going to be harder in West Roseville. The only spots I'm looking for in the 5s right now, maybe some in Vineyard, but if you're looking for great buy downs, Rancho's where you're going to go. Everything else I think is going to be, it's not like in Vineyard, you're going to see stuff in the 5s, but they're going to give you like a $10,000 credit towards like closing costs or buying down your rate, which is just, you know, comparatively towards Rancho where they're saying, hey, we'll give you 6%, you know, like it's just not competitive. So hopefully it helps. All right. All right. May I ask how long you cannot no. Yeah. I've been doing real estate for about, 12 years. I've lived here for about maybe 14 years. I came in from the Bay Area and, honestly, like the funniest thing for me is that, I just didn't really realize this was Sacramento. I always thought Sacramento was an in and out stop going up to Tahoe. I always thought it was just like the representation that I had of Sacramento was like downtown, not fun. Didn't like it. It was flat. It's hot. I just want to get through it. So then for me, I moved up here to Sacramento, and I started to explore Sacramento. I started to realize how wrong I was about Sacramento. I didn't really know too much about the people up here either. And I found that a lot of the people that I was running into were so friendly, nice, inviting. I was getting invited out. Hey, you want to come out? It was just such a fun spot. And part of my like real estate journey, started there. I was like, I kind of want to tell other people that live in other areas about how amazing Sacramento is. And for me, like, that was one of my main drivers to do real estate. Like for me, I graduated UCLA. I've taught at a few different colleges in California as well too. I've done IT as well too. And I worked in the music industry, but this real estate stuff is like my passion. This is going to be my end game because one of the joys that I get is handing keys to first-time home buyers, and also showing people who move into the area what you can get here and how amazing it is in Sacramento, because you're going to see it because I saw it, so people come in all the time and they're driving from the Bay Area and they're like, I'm not moving to Sacramento unless I get something amazing. And then I show them something amazing and they're just like in love with the area. So for me, one of the things that I think as a realtor, I like to bring to the table is I get where you guys are coming from. I get a lot of people, like, I get it. I've been there. I know where you're coming from. Like, I know exactly what you're thinking. I know exactly how you're feeling, and I've been there. And so for me, when I start talking to people a little bit about my experience, they're like, yeah, exactly. And they start smiling. We start grinning. It's just something that it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a connection. So that's me. Long-winded I am, I will say that. But I do love real estate. And I think for me at the same time, it's just an awesome spot. All right, Eddie, hopefully that answered your questions. Do you have any more? Just let me know. All right. Mark, do you think new home builders will return to allow the buyer to choose their model of their lot or current practice for whole developers being pre-planned? I think it's going to depend on the builder. I think like your Tim Lewis's, your Tolls, I think maybe like the more like, I guess like luxury-ish kind of finished builders are probably going to allow it. I think Taylor Morrison, it's going to be a little bit of a 50-50 on the builds. I think Lennar is not going to, it's going to be more pallets, I think. I think that this model, like 3 years ago during the end of the year, what was it? I think it was, the builders, had so many people fall out of contract and there's so many houses sitting on the market that I think right now that they kind of figured out that this is the best way to ensure that their bottom line is kept. They don't have a lot of inventory that's sitting on the market. So I don't think you're going to see this in your Beezers. I don't think you're going to see it a lot. I mean, they'll give you some updates and you can do a patio, you can do structural, this and that. But for the most part, I think what you're going to see is like, the Beezers, Meritage, your Horton, KB, it's going to already be ready to go. And you want it, great. You don't want it, you don't want it. And there's going to be other people that might want it. So I think that that's what you're looking at. I think if you really want custom, I think Taylor at times can be that way. But also here's the biggest rub about doing it from scratch, right? If you say to yourself, man, this is gonna be my dream home. I want a Sawyer in Elk Grove. I want to do it exactly the way I want to. I want to choose my lot and everything too. That's going to cost you about $100,000 to $150,000 more than a house that's been sitting there. It's a Sawyer. It might not have the elevation you want. It might not have all the upgrades you want, but they're telling you like, hey, look, you can build your own. The price is going to increase by the time we get one that you want. It's going to be like, I don't know, whatever, like let's say $1 million out the door, or you can buy the Sawyer. It's a little smaller lot, not the location you wanted, and we can get it to you for like $825. That's where it gets a little bit difficult for a lot of people. Do you do that? Do you save all that money? So I've seen a lot of people who are adamant on wanting to pick their finishes out and all that stuff too. And all of a sudden they say, yeah, I'm just going to pull the trigger. I mean, I'm saving like $150,000 on this house if I do this. And I don't mind the gray cabinets as opposed to the white cabinets. So, all right. Thoughts on Lincoln? I like Lincoln. I think Lincoln's a great spot. I think the only thing I would say about Lincoln, PG&E, the distance is a little far away. I'd say if you're someone who's working like downtown Sacramento, don't do it to yourself. The drive is brutal. I think Lincoln is nice. I think one of the things about Lincoln is it was like the fastest growing city for a while because it has so much land. I think what you're going to see with Lincoln is that, and if a lot of people aren't familiar with Lincoln, it kind of has almost like a Arizona vibe over there too. There's not as much greenery in Lincoln, except for areas maybe like Catavadera and all that stuff. But for the most part, Lincoln doesn't have the greenery of like a Fair Oaks, or like even a Folsom. So Lincoln's a little bit more, I'd say, of a drier area, but I like Lincoln. I've moved amazing people down to Lincoln and they absolutely love it. I think, for someone who likes those roads, driving around and everything too, Lincoln's great. I think they're going to keep building in Lincoln. I think the price point in Lincoln has gone up. It actually surprised me because I reached out to a couple of friends of mine in Lincoln who sell houses out there. And I was like, yeah, what are the prices like? And they're like 600s. And like, honestly, 2 years ago, those things were selling for like 450. So I think there's a lot of demand for Lincoln. The only thing for me is, and one is like, we'll show people like someone will want Roseville and they'll say, you know what? Let's also take a look at Rockland. Then we're driving to Rockland. And then we tell people, you know what? We're going to also take a look at Lincoln. And on the way out to Lincoln, normally we get a text, this is way too far out for us. So for me, I think for remote workers, for people who want a little bit more of a drier climate, or topography, for someone who likes golf, like Lincoln is amazing. I think Lincoln's development's going to grow too. I think the Whitney Ranch Retail Center is going to benefit Lincoln as well too. I think some people who live in Whitney Ranch do a lot of their shopping at the Nugget and everything too in Lincoln. So I don't know. I think Lincoln's a great spot. All right, Lacey from Meritage. All right, what did you do in the music industry? This is fun. I went to UCLA and I was a manager of all the bands that came and performed. After that, I managed and booked in the Rosebud Agency in Haight Street in San Francisco. I worked with, managed and booked John Lee Hooker, Robert Cray, Ben Harper, Duke Robillard, John Hammond. I booked and managed all those people with a big agency, the Rosebud Agency, but it was fun. And a person told me in the music industry, either you are going to work in music and you're not going to like music because you're going to be paid with tickets. Literally, I kid you not, I worked in the music industry on Haight Street and I made a whopping $19,000 a year. I had a lot of tickets. So I switched gears to the computer industry for a little while, but it was fun. Had a blast. All right, let's go into some Q&A. All right, so this is the community that I was talking about in Richmond. They just started building here. Amorosa Ranch is going to be a phenomenal area. Like I said, if you guys haven't checked it out, I think this is going to be probably the area that's blowing up more than anything else in the West Roseville area. Richmond American just started building. If you guys are looking for a home, get on the ground floor. That's what you're looking for. This is a great spot. What else we got? West Haven, again, Whitney Ranch. Like I said, they're building smaller homes. KB, this is going to be another rock star community. Honestly, this thing is going to blow up as well too. What else? And then we got, what is this one? This one is ours. This is Beezer in Rancho. And like I said, if you look at the price point of 590s, you just don't see a lot of that in West Roseville. So that's another thing with Rancho. Boom. All right. So like I said, don't look at the rate. Don't look at like thinking you can qualify for this. Just look at this. This is kind of what we're looking at like right now. Now for me, based on all the bond activity that was happening last week, I kind of assumed that we would be in the sixes. We weren't, which surprised me when, Monday morning or Tuesday morning. But now what we're noticing is we're still above seven. So it's kind of like staggering, but it's kind of going steady. So just understand this, that if you guys are qualifying or if you guys are looking to buy a home in the resale market, you're probably going to be over a 7, unless of course you go VA or, maybe you're using a doctor loan or something like this. Now, a lot of the new home companies are offering you like 6%. The purchase price towards a buy down or closing costs. So it just makes a whole lot of sense. Hey guys, if you guys are enjoying the broadcast, smash that like button. Also share the video if you guys have anyone who might, or of anyone who might be interested in moving to Sacramento. We do this live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. just for you guys. Okay, so this is for Redfin. This is basically what it looks like. This is where the people are moving in mainly and who are looking at Sacramento. So you got San Francisco, of course, that's the biggest one. The San Francisco DMA. Los Angeles is another big one. Fresno. You got a bunch of places that are looking at the Sacramento area, guys. Towards the end of 2024, we were the most researched spot to relocate into by Redfin data. So, Sacramento has a big spotlight on it, and there's probably gonna be a lot of activity. So just be prepared. All right, let's get into some Q&A. All right, where are we at on time? Oh, not bad. All right, Sacramento covered. Watch out. I live in Elk Grove, and it's not that good. Roseville. Okay, someone's choosing Roseville over Elk Grove. Both great spots. Okay, medical care is something families should consider, which I do not remember you discussing. As far as older communities, Roseville, huge Kaiser Sutter health campuses and constantly expanding in time. Trauma center could mean life or death. I agree. Okay, so one of the things I will start to do a little bit more in my videos is talk a little bit more about the medical. I know Roseville has a big one, and Roseville Medical is huge. Elk Grove, I'm not 100%, but I think you probably have to go towards downtown. Not 100%, but I will do those in future videos, and I apologize for that. I will be more diligent in my videos, especially the one I'm launching Friday, the 6 top most popular suburbs in the Sacramento area based on affordability. It's going to be a great video. You guys should definitely tune in for that. Next one, Sacramento exposed, beware, moving to Rockland. Folsom has become nothing more than traffic since they added all the housing south of Folsom. Please live in Rockland. We in Folsom are tired of all the crowds. Folsom is getting crowded, guys. And I think that one of the things is, I don't think they expected Folsom Ranch to take off the way it did, or they would have added a little bit more like road to get in and out of that. It's going to be brutal. Okay, Sacramento regret. El Dorado Hills, the traffic signals in Folsom force you to stop at every single light. Folsom traffic is the worst. Folsom traffic, guys, I think that is going to definitely be a buzzword in Folsom in the time to come. I think I love Folsom. I think it's absolutely beautiful, but there's so many houses being built in the Folsom Ranch area, and there's only like East Bidwell to get you out of there. So I don't know. All right, Sacramento Regret. Check the fire map before you buy. And like I said, if you guys want a fire map, hit my buddy Javier. He was on last week. He'll talk to you a little bit about what you're looking to do, and he'll probably send you over a fire map. All right. Shocking truth about insurance in California, in Sacramento. Thank you so much. I've gained a lot of valuable information and truly appreciate it. No problem at all. I'm going to have Javier on more often. Aaron's going to, of course, come on all the time. And I'm going to have more people that for the most part are going to add value to your journey of relocating to Sacramento or your journey in when's the right time to sell your house in Sacramento. So I want to bring a lot more value to this channel for you guys. So if you hear people talking, these are people that I work with, the people I know, the people I vetted for you guys specifically. I was hoping to bring on maybe some inspectors as well too, to tell you a little bit about what inspections you might want to do if you're buying a house here, what things to be aware of as well too. So we got some fun things in store for 2025. All right, fire insurance. Oh, this is crazy. Our fire insurance is 4 years has gone up from $1,000 a year to $3,500 a year already with the California Fair Plan. Oh man, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. Shocking truth about home insurance in Sacramento. Great information as always. Thank you. Oh, my pleasure. Sacramento Regret. Being a part of the LGBT community, I know Rancho Cordova's new communities are a popular spot for lesbian couples, kind of how the Oakland Hills were for years ago, San Francisco and popular. Well, for me, I think everyone should be welcome to Sacramento, and I think I like that Sacramento is having this kind of like diverse vibe too. I think it's great, and I think for me, when I came to Sacramento from the Bay Area, I didn't know what to expect, and what I found was a bunch of people who were friendly. They welcome me with open arms, so I can only say good things about Sacramento. All right, moving to Sacramento in 2025. My partner and I are planning to move to Sacramento in the next few months. We're a couple in our 40s without children and currently live in Europe. We enjoy living in a walkable area where we can socialize and see people around. Since our job will be located in downtown Sacramento, we would love your advice on which neighborhoods would be best to our lifestyle. I would definitely say probably near the downtown area. I think Midtown, I think you'd love Midtown. Tahoe Park, I think would be good. Depending on what you like as well too. East Sacramento might have a little for you. Land Park. And then maybe a curveball of West Sacramento. But I think those areas specifically you would love. Crocker Village also is nice. It was built by a Black Pine community. It's really, really a nice area. It's kind of like a bubble inside that whole area as well too. So those are the communities I would recommend, but it also depends on your price point, what kind of house style you like as well too. East Sacramento is really, really nice. And Midtown, it is fun over there. All right, what's your favorite builder? Lennar's the worst. They don't protect your home value. In the same street, you see ranges from 700 to $1 million in the same configuration. Here's the thing about Lennar, and this is one of the things that I have noticed about Lennar, and I'm just saying it as I say it, is what I've seen is a lot of people, they'll buy a home for like $1 million. Then what you'll notice is towards the end of the community when they just want to get rid of the houses, they'll decrease the prices, which I think there's a little bit of like, shame. I mean, if you buy a house for $1 million and you see basically a house just like yours being sold for like $850 or $900, what do you think that's going to do to your value of your house? So, yeah. All right. Who's looking for a house in Roseville? Who's watching the massive price drops in bank repos? I'm not. Maybe I should be, but I am seeing some auction stuff happen as well too. It's going to be a crazy year, guys. I do think that I think rates are going to be 6s, 7s, all that stuff too. But I do think that this market is going to be, I think demand is going to be there. Like I said, I want to see what people are listing homes at. And that's only going to happen after Super Bowl. That's what my gut's telling me. All right, Sacramento Uncovered. Roseville is higher and income people like compared to Elk Grove. Elk Grove towards more like a farming area. Guys, I'll tell you something. This is then it definitely Elk Grove is got like Laguna with the man-made lakes, and Elk Grove is going to be, it already is, but it's going to be even more of a powerhouse. So I would say like Elk Grove, Roseville. I don't know. It's tough. Sacramento uncovered. I think Roseville area has 55 communities. Yes, but Elk Grove also, Taylor Morrison's building a plus 55 active community out there as well too. And I think what you're going to find in the Sacramento area more than anything else is that you're going to see more active communities. A lot of the times what you're going to notice in Sacramento is you have a person that's maybe like 60 and they have a humongous house and they want to downsize, but there aren't a lot of active communities that they like. And so what you noticed was Toll Brothers Regency, Turkey Creek Taylor Morrison's Turkey Creek. You got Lennar doing a few too. Like active communities are going to become really, really big business in the Sacramento area. I wouldn't even be surprised if Toll Brothers did another one, maybe in Elk Grove. All right. This looks nice. However, this looks nice. However, I prefer older homes because they're made of better materials versus the cheap stuff they use today. Also, it seems like most new developers don't have many trees like older neighborhoods, just cluster of homes. Yeah, here's the thing though. What you're going to notice is a lot of the developers will buy land in the middle of nowhere, and the Mellorews go towards trees, parks, schools, and it takes time to build that out. As far as like, there is a validity to what you're saying as far as the wood. I mean, I see some of the houses in Rancho and like Rosemont. Those things are solid. You know, the closets are deep. You can just feel the wood. I would say on the other side of that, the energy efficiency and the space usage in the new home, I mean, that's just amazing. I mean, I've walked into some new homes and it's like 1,700 square foot floor plan and you walk in and it feels like 2,500. So I think there's pros and cons to both. But I think anyone who's looking for a home in the Sacramento area should take time, even if you don't like new homes or even if you don't like resale homes, have your realtor, hopefully it's us, take you to both a resale community and a new home community. See both. Do the Pepsi challenge. Like, it will be something in the long run you'll be thankful for. All right. Appreciate all your insight, Mark and team. Oh, no problem at all. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your information. And that was last week's live when we talked a little about fire insurance. We're going to have Javier on again. Like I said, he's so good when it comes to home insurance. Really good guy too. All right. We got some polls. Who's your favorite builder, Taylor or Lennar? I know I should have put more builders there. Taylor, sweeping. And then you got KB Homes. They're going to be building another community in Sacramento. This community, what I heard, is going to be in the high 4s, low 5s. So tune in when I have more information about this community, which I'm excited about. Where rates headed this week, and that was a couple days ago, up, steady, down, up, steady. It's basically all of this. All right, better food scene, Roseville, downtown Sacramento. Guys, I love Roseville. I think Roseville has a lot of food options, but downtown Sacramento, easily better food options. Better food scene. Who is looking for a house in Roseville? Yes and no. Guys, I would say for Roseville, just be kind of secure about where you're looking in Roseville. West Roseville is all the new stuff. Central Roseville is kind of near the mall, all that, you know, it's a little trafficy, I'd say. And then East Roseville, butted up to Grant Bay, you're probably looking at a price tag of like $1 million and more. So just know exactly which part of Roseville you're looking at. Who's looking at Granite Bay? Yes, no. Grant Bay, guys, it is one of the areas in the Sacramento area that has like average home prices of about $1 million there. So just know that if you are looking Grant Bay, a lot of people are. Schools, location, houses. They don't really build small houses in Granite Bay. So just kind of keep that in mind a little bit. A lot of people I know have looked in East Roseville. They've looked in Granite Bay, but the houses were just so overwhelmingly big, so much landscaping, that they switched gears and went over to East Roseville. Just my 2 cents. All right. I think that's it. All right, here. This is a house that we got coming right now. It's going to be listed literally in 2 hours. It is in Elk Grove. Here's some stats. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,400 square feet, solar pool, new roof, no HOAs in Elk Grove, no Mellorews in Elk Grove. Elk Grove City Schools, guys, with a pool in Elk Grove, long driveway that can hold a boat. You can get an RV in there, cute little cul-de-sac. This is going to be a smoking house. If you guys are interested in this house specifically, let me know. Like I said, it's going to be great. And what else do we got? There it is from the outside. Look at that driveway. Unbelievable. And the best part, no Mellorews, no HOAs in Elk Grove with a pool. Can't beat that. And this is the one that Elk Grove in Citrus Heights that Michelle just put down. 5 days. I think it was 3 offers and cash offer, and it was done. So that is it, guys. That is our broadcast for the evening. Hey, Tatiana. Hopefully all is well with you and your family. It always looks like you guys are traveling. I'm so jealous. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Like I said, if you could smash that like button, it would mean a whole lot to me, the YouTube algorithm, which I'm really good friends with. And also guys, this Friday, I'm going to be dropping a video about the 6 top requested suburbs that people are talking about in the Sacramento area. It's going to be a good video. We're going to rate them from affordability wise, what's more affordable and what's the least affordable. So it's going to be a really good video. Definitely tune in and give me your input on the video as well too. Am I wrong? Am I right? Which one do you like or which one don't you like? Hey, Mark, glad you guys are all tuning in. Remember to like the video. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Hopefully you guys had a good time on the show. An hour and 10 minutes, not too shabby. And like I said, Friday at 7 p.m., I'm dropping a video that you guys definitely need to check out. The 6 top, not top, the most requested suburbs in the Sacramento area. It's going to be a fun one. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Until next video, this is Mark. Have a good one. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this show. If you did, smash that like button. It would mean a lot to me, and it would mean something to the YouTube algorithm. Now, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions and comments about the broadcast specifically, put them in underneath this video, and I'll make sure to answer them for you guys. Like I said, guys, we go live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m., and we give you a little bit of a real-time feel on how the Sacramento real estate market is looking. So if you're someone thinking about moving in, someone thinking about listing your home, this is going to be a temperature gauge on how the market is doing in Sacramento. Now, guys, also, we are a real estate team here in Sacramento. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, you want resale, you want new, you want a specific area, we've done it all. Sold and listed and worked with buyers in almost every single area. So reach out to our team. We'd love to talk to you and answer any questions you have. We're big on the education piece of the puzzle, and we'd love to answer any questions you have to make that move a little smoother for you. Now, if you're someone who's looking to list your house and you live in Sacramento and you just don't want to settle for those pole in the ground realtors, reach out to our team. We get more eyeballs on listings than any other team in the Sacramento area. Bay Area buyers, they absolutely love this channel. All right, guys, until the next video, this is Mark. Have a good one. Oh, wait, hold on. I got a playlist over there of past episodes that we did as well, too. They'll get you a little bit more education. This is Mark, guys. Have a good one.